Yo, what's going on, guys? Doe's Life here, and today we tried out Dune Awakening. So we just got out of the beta, and there's a lot to talk about. From the brutal deserts to massive player factions and the constant fight to survive, it's one of the most ambitious survival MMOs that I've played in a long while, reminiscent of Once Human, but with a little bit of variety. Uh, it's definitely still in the beta, but we're going to go over my full breakdown after spending about 25 hours on Arrakis. Dune Awakening is an open world survival MMO developed by Funcom, same creators of the Conan MMO game. It's set in the universe of Frank Herbert's Dune. You play as a customizable survivor, trying to carve out your place on Arrakis, farming spice, you're battling the elements, and you're also navigating the politics of rival factions, which plays a big part in the PvP down the line. This is currently in closed beta. Everything that you see and everything that I'm going to talk about is subject to change. The game releases officially on June 10th for $50. Now, that's up to speculation if that's going to follow the same price point that Conan also arrived at, where you paid a sum up front and then there was no monthly subscription service. There's no official determination on that, but we will find out as the days go on. At its core, the gameplay mixes survival mechanics. Thirst is a massive one. You dehydrate very fast. Newer is the sunlight. You cannot stay in the direct sunlight. You will start dying of heat stroke. Aside from that, crafting with base building, PvP skirmishes, and large-scale faction conflict seems to be on the horizon as a larger scale game mechanic. The world is massive. Seriously, crossing dunes can feel like a real expedition, especially when a sandstorm rolls in and you need to figure out a place to hide, get into some shelter. Combat is a mix of melee and range styles. Right now, it feels pretty fluid, but it definitely needs a polish. Weapons have weight. Positioning actually matters in the fights, which actually is a little bit refreshing. Especially with the shielded enemies, requiring you to use melee combat instead of just gutting everything down. It definitely feels just a little bit different. Progression is skill based, and crafting plays a huge role in gearing up. So far, the resource farming has seemed a bit grindy, especially if you're running solo. I've seen plenty of roaming squads that seem to be doing all right, but if you're running solo, the resource grinding early on definitely feels like it drags its feet. This is where the game really leans into the Dune DNA. You got spice fields scattered across the map. Harvesting them is high stakes, not just because of the other players, but because the sandworms are always lurking. There's always a constant sense of tension, um, almost like the planet just wants you dead. Factions are another big part of the experience. You align yourself with major groups, and that choice really matters. It affects the gear that you get, the missions you unlock, and how the world reacts to you. There's clearly room for deep political conflict and player driven warfare here. Um, as far as the story, it's not a retelling of the books, which I think is smart. It's more of an alternate timeline or a what if scenario set in the Dune universe. You're not playing as Paul or any legacy character. Instead, you're just a survivor trying to rise through the ranks. That gives the devs creative freedom, and while the story content is light so far, there are hints of deeper lore through NPC dialogue, missions, and data logs. If you're a fan of the Dune franchise, the tone feels right. But if you're looking for a strong, narrative driven MMO similar to the Old Republic, this isn't quite that, at least not yet. Visually, the game nails the desert aesthetic. Towering dunes, heat haze, and sandstorms all look great. Character models and UI still need a polish, but the environmental detail is impressive. Sound design is also very solid. The music is minimal but atmospheric, and the whirring of ornithopters or the rumble of a sandworm definitely adds tension. Performance wise, I had pretty smooth gameplay with very few bugs, which is expected at this stage, but they're definitely doing great work. Down to the pros and cons. In the pros section, we have an immersive world that really does capture Dune's atmosphere. Deep faction and survival systems are definitely a plus, and the potential for massive PvP conflicts down the line definitely spell great things for an open world MMO. With the cons, resource grinding is currently pretty repetitive, which is definitely something that can be fixed down the line. Still some bugs and performance issues, which obviously need to be patched out. This is still in beta. The PvE content definitely feels a bit thin. Right now, the only enemies that we fought are humanoid with melee or guns. Hopefully, down the line, they're able to add something else into the mix that will make it seem a little more fresh. Final verdict, I'd say Dune Awakening has huge potential. If Funcom can smooth out the systems and flesh out PvE content, this could definitely be something special. Right now, I wouldn't say that it's quite ready for everyone, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Thanks for watching my Dune Awakening beta review. If you've played the beta too, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Was it what you expected? Like if you enjoyed the breakdown, sub if you want more content, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.